With the Xbox Showcase coming up later this Sunday, and a ton of new content as well coming towards the end of this week, we've had some new sales going live slightly early on the Xbox Store, and a lot of these games rarely ever go on sale. I will have to apologise to you all right now in advance for making your backlog even larger and uncovering those hidden gems. Before we dive in though, I do give away a free Xbox game on these sales videos every single week. All you have to do is leave a comment below, and I'll be very interested in hearing your predictions for the Xbox Showcase this Sunday. Congratulations to this week's winner. It's honestly so great to hear that you can play Pitfall again thanks to Xbox Retro Classics Collection, and you'll have to let me know some retro recommendations in the comments below. Just hit me up on our Xbox Nation Discord server and I'll get that game right over to you. With that out of the way, my name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive into the huge Xbox sale for this week. First up today, we have a twisted reimagining of the Pinocchio tale. Lives of P drops us into the hauntingly beautiful city of Krat, where nightmares come alive and puppets run amok. As a mechanical warrior with a conscience, you'll explore fog-drenched streets and uncover a dark mystery influenced by your own choices, either lie or tell the truth, and see the consequences ripple across the world. The combat here is very sharp and deliberate, favouring skillful dodging, parrying and weapon crafting over brute force. From corrupted automatons to massive bosses, every encounter here will really demand your precision and adaptability like any Souls-like. With multiple endings, deep lore and striking visual designs, it's a masterclass in modern Souls-like storytelling. It's now discounted to just £24.99 at its lowest price point we've ever seen before, and it's well worth grabbing, especially with the Overture DLC coming very soon. Alba, a wildlife adventure, is a very cute and lovely indie experience, and it never goes on sale that often, which really does surprise me. This is actually a very charming and heartfelt experience where you play as Alba, a young girl spending a holiday with her grandparents on a beautiful Mediterranean island. As you explore its sunny landscapes, you'll be spotting a variety of different birds that many birdwatchers will recognise, all while getting swept up in a quiet but meaningful story about protecting the island. The game is relatively simple, it's very cozy and relaxing, and runs for approximately a 5-hour game time. While the story's conflict, which I won't spoil, and its resolution are somewhat predictable, the emotional impact here is very real, and the ending in this one did genuinely move me. The devs are also doing some incredible work at the moment, and are planting a tree for every purchase and download for this game, so it's worthwhile buying for that low price point. With the rumour that we could be seeing Resident Evil 9 being shown off this week, there is no better time to jump into Resident Evil Village, as it's currently a staggering 75% off, bringing the price down to just £8.24. Village is a wild, ambitious ride for a nightmare landscape of gothic horror, fairy tale grotesquerie, and relentless action. As the direct sequel to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, it still retains that first-person perspective and intimate terror, but actually broadens its scope considerably, both in narrative scale and gameplay variety. You will once again though step into the shoes of Ethan Winters, now a man worn thin by trauma. What unfolds is part Bram Stoker, part Grimm Brothers, and part Resident Evil 4 but on steroids, and somehow it really does work. Visually, the game is absolutely stunning, and the gameplay does a very good job of balancing the survival and the action aspects, so you never feel like a walking superhuman. It's very dark, it's very dreary, and a must play for horror fans. TOEM is another really unique gem on Xbox consoles, and don't let that black and white aesthetic put you off here, as it really is a great game. TOEM is actually a point and click adventure game where you'll play as a little guy who heads off from home to explore various locations on the way to a mountain. Your nana gives you her old camera before you set off, and then you'll be exploring the different locales as you meet a bunch of characters who give you various tasks. This one to me was very similar to something like a short hike, which was also available on Xbox Game Pass, but with the camera being the focus of every single puzzle and other elements. It's a very well made loop and feels very personalized without being too obscure. The art style is very awesome as well, and I really love the detail they put into the functionality of the camera and how it identifies things. For the low price of just £3.34, it's one that I highly recommend for this week. The age-old question is whether a game can actually run Crysis, but these days that statement is certainly less prevalent than ever before. Whether you're revisiting or just diving in for the first time, Crysis Remastered is a full-throttle FPS experience that still holds up to this day and is visually stunning. Of course, this game still lets you use the nanosuit to cloak, sprint and survive against waves of soldiers, aliens and more in semi-open world arenas. There is a ton to love here as well with this remaster, from enhanced lighting, 4K textures and smoother performance. It really does breathe new life into this classic experience. experience. You'll find a lot of varied settings here as well, from dense jungles to crumbling cities, alongside emergent sandbox gameplay that really rewards your creativity. At its lowest price ever at just £6.24 thanks to a 75% discount, this is a sci-fi shooter staple that needs to be in your Xbox library. If you're keen on something that actually contains more aliens and has you blasting them in non-stop action arenas, then Aliens Fireteam Elite is now down by 75%, bringing it down to just £6.24, and this is the game's lowest price point ever. This co-op third-person shooter pits you and your friends against waves of xenomorphs across various different missions. There is a class system at play here, there's tons of weapons for you to upgrade as well, and then there's tons of different enemy types, with no two missions ever feeling the same. Honestly, I absolutely love this one. It's a thrilling ride, especially if you're playing with your friends and coordinating with your different strategies. Whether you're a fan of the Aliens franchise like me, or just love a very good co-op shooter, then this is one game that delivers high-octane action for an absolute bargain price. I know that many of you out there will heavily recommend this next game today, and is one that will blow your mind in so many ways. Curiosity is your compass in the Outer Wilds, a time loop adventure that actually invites you to uncover the mysteries of a strange interconnected solar system. Each 22-minute cycle resets the universe, but your knowledge stays with you, slowly building towards understanding the ancient race that came before you. There's no combat in this one, only exploration and clever environmental storytelling, and the result is one of the most philosophically rich games that you'll ever play. With stunning planets that each follow their own rules of gravity and physics, there's always something brand new for you to discover. It's very similar in vein to Blueprints, so if you have enjoyed this game since that arrived onto Xbox Game Pass, then the Outer Wilds is well worth diving into. It's now 40% off, bringing the price down to just £12.59, and this is an unforgettable journey of awe and discovery. Before diving into the remaining sales for this week, make sure to subscribe down below for more Xbox content every single day, as over 74% of you have not joined the fastest growing Xbox community here on YouTube. We are aiming for 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I would love for you to join us on this incredible journey. I will be live streaming both the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase this Friday and Saturday, and it'd be great to see you all there. Thanks again for the continued support lately, and let's dive back into the incredible sales for this week. The Plucky Squire is an imaginative action-adventure game that seamlessly transitions between 2D and 3D gameplay, telling the story of a storybook hero who breaks free from the pages of his own world. One moment you'll be solving puzzles on a flat paper surface, and the next you're exploring objects in a child's bedroom in full 3D. It really is a playful mechanic that's used not just for visuals, but is part of the core gameplay experience. Combat is pretty light here, but quite engaging, mixing sort of swordplay and environmental interaction with a colourful, whimsical art style, and it's very reminiscent to me of early Nintendo adventure games. The story does celebrate that creativity and courage though, making it so accessible for younger gamers, as it's rewarding for us older fans of classic action platformers. With this one being one of its first discounts since its launch, it's now a great time to jump into one of the most visually unique games of the last year. Dragon's Dogma 2 was one of the best RPGs out of 2024 and offered us an incredible open world adventure that blends deep combat, dynamic AI companions, and epic monster battles. What really did set Dragon's Dogma 2 apart though was its unique pawn system, and it actually lets you recruit and customize different AI controlled party members that learn from your own actions. The combat is some of the best I've ever seen in any RPG to date, with very weighty, impactful swordplay and also giant beasts that you can literally climb onto during fights. If you love games like Elden Ring, The Witcher 3 or even Skyrim, this game will absolutely scratch that RPG itch. With a huge reactive world, some deep class customization and one of the most rewarding combat systems in this genre, Dragon's Dogma 2 is one of the most exciting RPGs that we've seen in years. It is now down to its lowest price of just £24.79, and since it's rarely ever on sale, now's the great time to grab it, especially if you're waiting for a great price drop. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 delivered us some of the most intense third-person combat in the Warhammer universe, throwing us into massive battles against swarms of Tyranids as Ultramarine captain named Titus. This game really did expand on the original's brutal, high-impact melee and range combat, really allowing us to slide through enemies with a chainsword or just unleash heavy bolted fire on entire hordes. The campaign really brought us a cinematic lore-rich story with full cooperative functionality, meaning you and two other friends can experience the brutality of Warhammer Warfare together. The Gold Edition is on sale for this week, and that includes the Season Pass, and it's down a staggering 40%, down to just £50.99p. I absolutely love the visceral action and large-scale battles of this one, and it's easily one of the most faithful Warhammer adaptations to this very day. If you've been waiting for a very good price drop, then this is the best price yet, and is well worth that low cost of admission. No, you are not seeing Pokemon on screen right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if you thought that was the case. Nexomon did an excellent job in bringing us an experience that is relatively close to the original source material, but does have some pitfalls, but to be honest, at a £2.39 price point, you really can't go wrong in this sale. I must say, I did actually enjoy this game more than the classic Pokemon games it's actually based on. However, I haven't played it in years, and I did grab it on launch over on Steam. To give you a bit more of an overview though, you will be catching, evolving, and collecting over 300 unique Nexomon. You will then assemble your ultimate team to save your friends and the world as well. Alongside this, you'll be clashing with some legendary champions and then becoming a hero in this epic journey. Definitely don't go into this one though expecting the amount of polish or in-depth design decisions as a Pokemon game, but if you want a game to scratch that itch on Xbox consoles, then this one is well worth it. If you are wanting a more nostalgic trip or just want to see why Tomb Raider was such a hit back in the day, then the Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered collection is well worth that small price point for this week. For the first time ever, you can play the complete experience with all the expansions and secret levels on modern platforms in this definitive collection. The games were also given a fresh coat of paint and higher FPS. You can actually switch between the original style and then the newer one with a press of a button, and that's basically the same as what we saw with the Master Chief collection in how it's implemented, so you can do it from pretty much anywhere. If you want to shoot some bad guys, lock the butler in the freezer, or just experience some Tomb Raiding goodness, then you can do for this week for just £9.99. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 actually puts you behind the scope as a long-range tactical assassin, executing missions across sprawling Middle Eastern landscapes. Unlike more action-heavy shooters in this genre, this entry is actually more built around that precision, patience, and planning, like we sort of see with the Sniper Elite series. This time though, it actually requires you to have several contracts requiring shots from over 1,000 meters away. Every single mission here really does offer your freedom in its approach. You can either go stealthy, set different traps, or even go loud if your cover is blown. The game's ballistic system accounts for wind, distance, and bullet drop, really rewarding all of you methodical players who enjoy the satisfaction of lining up the perfect shots. With a solid upgrade system at hand, alongside gadgets like drones and decoys, and also tons of mission replayability, it offers such a great value. At just £3.50 is a standout pick, especially if you're a fan of tactical shooters and long distance kill cams. One game that's only been on sale once before is Songs of Conquest, so it's a big pickup for this week. This one is actually a more modern take on classic strategy RPGs like Heroes of Might and Magic, but it combines deep kingdom management, tactical grid-based battles, and rich world building. In this one though, you'll be commanding what are called wielders, and these are essentially powerful heroes leading armies and casting spells. You will of course do all of this whilst exploring a vibrant world full of tons of secrets, rival factions, and magical relics. The visuals, as you can see right now, are very dark but detailed and also very atmospheric, with an orchestral score that builds immersion in both campaign and skirmish modes. As I did mention, this marks only the second time it's ever gone on sale, making now a great opportunity to jump in, especially if you're craving a thoughtful turn-based strategy experience with modern polish. What began as a Skyrim mod became one of the most compelling narrative games in recent years. The Forgotten City is a first-person time-loop mystery game set in a hidden Roman city where if one person sins, everybody dies. You're actually stuck in a repeating cycle, uncovering different clues, solving puzzles, and then making difficult moral decisions to change the fate of its citizens. Dialogue here plays a major role, as every character has secrets, and uncovering the truth requires logic, empathy, and clever use of your time travel. The writing is incredibly smart and philosophical, and explores themes like justice, ethics, and fate. With multiple endings and branching paths, it really rewards your exploration, and there's a ton of replayability. It's now 75% off, and is a fantastic story-driven experience that stands apart from typical action-heavy titles. I mentioned Islets before, as it was a game made by the Crypt Custodian developer, which now landed onto Xbox Game Pass as of today. This one though is actually a hand-drawn Metroidvania style platformer that charms you as much as it challenges you. You will play as a humble warrior mouse, journeying through floating islands, reconnecting them piece by piece, while battling inventive enemies and navigating a vast interconnected world. The tone here is very heartfelt and uplifting, with moments of humour and introspection throughout. But what really sets Islets apart though is that blend of satisfying exploration and also smart but very creative boss fights. The platforming is incredibly tight, and the map design really does reward your backtracking with brand new abilities. Visually, I think it's really stunning. It's got lots of soft colours, smooth animations, and also a soundtrack that really does complement that emotional beat of the entire story. For under £7, this is a real hidden indie gem, especially if you're a fan of Hollow Knight or Ori, looking for something both soulful and very fun. So, what game do you like the look of in this week's sale, and what are your predictions for the upcoming Xbox showcase? Let me know down below. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox content like this every single day as we grow closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now as I covered the 20 best Xbox Game Pass games you must not miss in 2025.